Yeah, I think it's live now.
Good stuff. Yes, here we are. We're gonna just have a little look at the yeah. Should we look at the yeah? Let's look at the pull requests related to local support. Do it, Chairman.
Yes, I can share screen or.
Yeah, no. Well, do share the screen. I mean, I would almost just leave the screen share on by default. Let's go and have a look. I've just been trying to do some things to try and make the continuous integration build process a bit more stable. So I just got this thing and it failed, and then I refactored, and now it's passed. So I'm tempted to merge this in because I think it is. I'll just show you this code. I was just, we had kind of like a thing here with notes that it was inaccurate, and basically I can simplify it by taking it to this. And I think, whether this will be more stable in the long run remains to be seen. But I think this is the best practice at the moment.
Okay, so that's okay.
Because what I'm reading and understanding is that the way Capybara works now is if you do something like this, it will actually wait for a certain amount of time to check that the thing has happened. So even if the JavaScript is slow running or what have you, it should be able to handle it, and you can avoid these other things. You can avoid using a sleep thing. You can avoid this check for visibility, which is perhaps a little unreliable. So I'm just gonna merge that in, and I hope that will resolve various things. But what we should probably start by doing is merging that into your branch here. So do you want to just sort of start off by doing a sync to upstream develop?
Yes, I can do that. Okay, conflict in DB seeds. It says so. Let's see.
Have a look there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I think the thing there, you probably, well, does it make sense how to fix that?
Well, I'd say that, well, I had this commented out, but I think I would just delete the comments and just merge and leave everything as is.
Yeah, I mean, I would remove lines 41 through 44.
41 to
44.
44. This, okay.
Because I think that's something, that's a change that Raj made, is that to just use the activate command.
So not find activate, but just activate.
Yeah. Although it disturbs me slightly that there's a kind of, one of them is using strings and one of them is using symbols, but at least anyway, this is the way that he's got it at the moment, and we'll refactor. But yeah, I think if you have it like this now, basically this is merging the change that you made related to having volunteer ops with his thing there. So yeah, so I think you could add that file and commit it, and
okay.
So you might just want to be occasionally careful with doing git add dot. I would generally, I would generally do, in this case, when I was adding an existing file, I do git commit -am, and that would just, the danger slightly with git add dot is that if you have other random bits of stuff lying around on the file system, they can get swept in. So I would do a git status here just to check that hasn't happened.
Okay, I will. So now I will just push it and see if everything's okay, or should I run tests first?
Do git. I would run git status.
Mm.
And I don't believe any of the tests actually. So that's I'll do git diff actually. Just that would be the thing. Sorry.
It's nothing. So it's
if you do git diff and then head squiggle 1, I don't know. That's
git diff. What? Sorry.
And then do HEAD in capitals, and then do the tilde symbol.
Sorry, which one?
The tilde symbol. It's like the little squiggle. It's above the backtick on my keyboard. It's like sometimes it's used.
Okay, this one.
And then type a 1 and hit return. I might have this wrong. There we go. So this shows us the difference between, this is a summary of the previous commit. So if you just just hit space and get your space down. Yeah, it's got a lot of that. That's actually fine. I just wanted to look for those are some files that Raj moved, which is fine. I should probably delete those really. That's the new bit of documentation he added on feature flags. That's another moved file, another moved file. That's a big one. Yeah, and then that's my last bit. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So just hit Q. Yeah, just checking we hit. Okay.
So I push it now.
You can push it to your branch, definitely. Yeah, push it to your branch.
Okay, hopefully pull request will be.
That will be updated. Okay.
Updated and will be ok. So in terms of refactoring.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah. So depending on how we feel about Hound, we could just together now work through the different Hound comments and sort of chat about them. And I mean, partly in terms of knowing which ones are safe to ignore, which ones are important, and even have that discussion. Does that sound like a reasonable way in?
Yeah, I think yesterday I went through Hound, and there are 12 problems it recognizes now. Most of them are that the line is too long. So
yeah,
I tried to clean it, and we can go through Hound and
just as a way in. That seems like
okay, sure.
So I'm just looking at the pull request here, and it's I mean, if you I mean, I can stay with the pull request. You stay with the editor, and so the first thing it's in, we've got map marker JSON.rb and app services. And you don't want to be looking at my screen. Just if you just keep your text editor up, and we'll just
in services map marker. Okay, here it is.
Yeah, and so it's just saying there it's got. Oh, that's interesting. Is this map marker JSON.rb that we're in there? Yes. Well, that's interesting. So the version that it's showing me in this, I'll just reload my page here. I mean, one, I think we've got that. Start again from the top here. The message that it's giving me in the Hound is extra empty line detected at module body end online. I think it's that line there. Yeah, basically, it's not. Yeah, so we can just save that.
Yeah,
and I think there is a convention for having a trailing one on the end. But okay, so that was that one. I mean, looking at this one, it's not. This is a method that I'm not wonderfully comfortable with, but this is one that existed before you got involved, I believe.
I changed this part.
Right. So it has
did this argument, additional argument.
Default thing, and that's about whether it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's checking whether it's from Hero or from outside, whether it's in database or not.
Indeed. Yes, and I kind of and I guess we've also got the comment here that the line is too long on line 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and overall, it feels like it's not a one, like if we think of it from just sort of a craftsmanship point of view, like, I mean, we've got the module map marker JSON. That seems okay. Then we've got the single method, which is build. So we're going to build some map marker JSON. So that seems, you know, not bad. But then the method itself is kind of quite convoluted. I think, you know, we've got to the point where we understand it, but it doesn't feel like the method really tells a coherent story. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
It's not very clean. Yeah, it took some time to get to it. Yeah.
Yes. I'm just having a look at the different things. I mean, I guess one thing that feels a bit odd to me is on line 8, just generally having this end.select like that. I mean, we're sort of chaining these methods together. Feels a little weird. I mean, the whole thing is based around this yield method on line 7, which is we're basically wrapping. I mean, GMap for Rails has this build markers operation.
Yeah.
And we are okay. So I think I can start to see. Right, and what we're doing in 8, 9, and 10 is basically we're converting it to JSON, and we're just making sure that we only have those markers that operate on that actually have the latitude and longitude.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that gives me an for you looking at the whole thing now. Are there any refactorings that you would want to be making here? Any ideas for refactorings?
Not really. I'm just not sure about the whole structure with this map marker JSON, because we are passing a block here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when if I could switch to volunteer opportunities
Sure.
controller when we use it.
Mm.
So when we use it, it's this method build map markers.
Mm-hmm.
So we call it here.
Mm-hmm.
Then we pass the block as big as this.
Mm-hmm.
So how normal it is? How it seems a bit like, I don't know, not what we were taught.
Well, I mean, I think it's that block feels kind of too long. I mean, a block is effectively a method, and so that feels too long. I think passing a block like that is absolutely fine. If we think about what the whole way that RSpec works, that's what it's doing basically. So the use of the yield is very natural. I think the problem, I mean, this is another method that maybe needs significant refactoring. And actually, I was talking with John yesterday about this, and you know, we had a session on that. But I think there are things. If we go back to the map marker JSON, there are things here that I think are, you know, it feels to me like what we want to do to make this sort of simpler is we want to, possibly even with the use of private methods here, this thing that we've got on lines 8, 9, and 10, where we do a selection for this for that operation there, feels like that could be a kind of another method even. I mean, it's sort of yeah, my brain is now dancing around with JavaScript and sort of creating anonymous functions, but it feels like we want to be able to ask a question about the marker there, that like there's a question being asked there on line 9, which is, you know, lat long present. So I would be tempted, why don't we, after line 11, create like a little private block, and then we could just think of like so let's make a new method which is just that basically is, you know, let's call it lat long present. So we can do lat underscore lng, yeah, and probably rather than long, let's do lat, let's remove the o, just, yeah, like that. I mean, and then put a question mark on the end of the method. And then what we could do is we can pass it the argument marker. And then can you see the kind of refactoring I'm thinking of doing here?
Yeah, I think so. Checking the marker present.
Yeah. So should we pull that line 9 out?
just
and put that there.
yeah.
So that's, yeah, and I think just remove the on line 15. I don't think we want the space between the question mark and the yeah, exactly. And then so now we could change that on line 8. We could change that, where we can replace the
this one I can
with lat long present question mark. I guess the other interesting question to ask is, do we, of course, do we have a specific test for this? Let's have a look at our tests for services, map marker JSON spec. Yes, and we do have a single test for this to check it. Okay, there we go. Yes, and well, should we just save that, and shall we run the map marker underscore JSON spec test from
spec?
Yeah. So if you just if you go to the terminal, I can guide you through. There's just do like rspec and space spec, and then hit. Oh no! So I was saying space, not base.
Spec, yeah.
So spec, and then if you just start typing services, and then you can tab complete to get to the right thing. There you go. And now if you start typing, if you type map, and there you go, exactly. So if we just run that, and we'll see if we've broken the behavior. I mean, there may be all sorts of things with the okay. Okay, so I think we might need to do it, make it a class method. I don't know that you need to include the self dot there.
No.
I think if we just call it self dot, yeah. Let's see if that works.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. So if we go back to the code, so and then I think, like, if we've got that on line 9, it feels like we can remove that. We can replace the do on lines 8 and 10. We can replace the do and the end with curly parentheses. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'll just do it one line then.
Yeah.
What do I do with dot in this case?
You can just leave the dot there. That's fine there.
Okay.
I mean, it almost makes me want to kind of the process of that on line 8 now. It makes me want to say that we're doing this, you know, select operation. I guess the thing that's being returned from GMap for Rails build markers must be an array. And I mean, I guess I'm almost wanting to kind of, yeah, rather than anyway, let's leave that how that is for the moment.
Okay.
And we've got, have you got something in your Sublime that's showing us where the 80 character line is? I noticed I wonder if you mouse over the.
I think, yeah, if I just put my mouse here.
Oh, you can see there. You can see the number. Yeah.
95.
Right. Indeed. Do you want to just maximize the Sublime to just give us a bit more space? Just yeah, that one. Oh, that's great. Okay. Yes. And so on the end of line 8, where are we with the? How long is line 8? It's 61. Okay. Yes.
Should I run test one more time? Just.
Oh, that's a very good idea. Yes, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we go back to the code, yeah. I mean, I guess there's, you know, what we could be doing here as well is we could on line 4, that queries organization add recently updated and has owner organizations could be. I'm tempted almost to have. Could we have another private method called orgs? And it's like actually, I mean, almost, yeah. Let's have a method here, which is well, I feel like we want to pull out this. We've got kind of a guard clause here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's take what should we call the method? I mean, just create an unnamed method. Just let's create a space to have the method. So let's do a def, and then let's take line 4 and put not line 4 the entire, but just this, the queries organizations add recently updated, what have you. Let's take that and put that in the method there as a separate thing. And this is like, let's call this, call the method, let's say include extra data. Include, we could even call the method include extra organizer. No.
It's sorting it, I think.
Yeah.
It's.
I think maybe let's just for the moment let's call the method include extra organization data, exactly the same name as the exactly the same name as for on line 2 we've got the data. And what we could do there, so let's have that on line 17. We've got that end method on the end, stray end thing on line 17. Delete that.
Yeah.
And then, so what we could do is, I wonder if on line 2, if we could make the variable name include extra organization data, put a question mark on the end of it. And then basically on line 3, we could kind of do organizations equals
this.
Yeah, actually, I'm just thinking we could even. I'm sort of thinking we could almost have a class variable, but yeah, I mean, I think almost rather than include. So what the method on line 13, it should be describing what it returns. So it's like maybe the name of the method on line 13 should be organizations with extra data. And then, yeah, so just like so. And then we could possibly take line 3 and we use the tail thing. So let's put line 3 on the end of line 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and we get rid of line 5, get rid of line 3, and now we could rerun that, the tests.
Yeah.
Whoops. I wonder if we're not allowed. Was it have the? Yeah, I think we're not allowed to have the question mark as a.
Okay, I'll just delete question mark then.
Yeah.
You named it anyway.
Yeah. It's a shame. I mean that flag that we're passing in is a bit of a code smell in itself. So ultimately, I think we want to be pulling that out. But I think we may. Oh, what's happening? Oh, it needs to have self dot before the.
No.
Oh
yeah, pass organization.
Okay.
And it's too
yeah, that's fine. What I would do there is maybe on at the beginning of line 3, it says organizations, is just change the variable name to orgs. So it's And
then probably we'll need to change all these.
No, because we're sort of rewriting it. So that one stays the same, but line 4 will need to be orgs.
You know, but we're passing this argument here.
Yeah, so that should be orgs there on line 4.
Yes, but if this one doesn't work, we are passing this one here.
Okay, yes, we're only overwriting it.
So we should call all of them orgs then.
Okay, yeah, let's call all of them orgs.
Oh, here it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, just run the tests now and check that works.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, so I'm kind of, what am I thinking? I'm thinking here. Apply each element. So I'm just thinking two. So I think I'm thinking two things here. I'm thinking, can we get this 4, 5, 6 down to a single line? And I'm just wondering if we can kind of like with the yield statement, rather than doing the do org marker, and I may be focused on the wrong thing here, and I'm focusing on you know, getting it short rather than necessarily making it transparent. But I'm just sort of wondering here if we've got, this is Ruby do yield. Can we just, since we're passing exactly the arguments to the block on line 4 to the yield on line 5, I'm wondering if we just can't do that with kind of with sort of a simpler operation where we say do, and then we have like star args and then yield args. Do you know what I mean?
Not really. Star args here.
Yeah, like you would have. I mean, I'm maybe grasping here. It's like, yeah, if instead of, yeah, here we go. Oh yes, no, I've got an example of it here in Stack Overflow. Yes, so if you just, where we've got org comma marker, if you replace it, yeah, on line 4 with the star, like an asterisk, and then args, yeah, do star args, and then yeah, you can replace it there also there with star args.
Okay.
And then let's save that and run it. Let's see if that works.
Yeah.
Does that work? Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. So if we go back to the thing, then yeah. So now we could like replace we could make it a one-liner, right? Replace the do and the end with
It's curly.
Yeah. And yeah, you just want to put a space in there between the args and the and put a space in at the beginning. And how long is this line now with up to the to JSON?
It's long. It's 113.
Yeah, but I'm let's just run the tests and check that this still works.
Let me check that I saved it.
Yeah, interesting. And so I guess what I kind of feel like I want to I wonder if there's an even, that's probably as far down as that one goes. And then is there a way to make this select? I'm just sort of thinking of other ways in which we can make the use Rubyisms to use the end of line 4 be shorter. And I think we can't really, without hacking up either the array or the hash thing or adjusting these things to return different stuff. So I'm sort of thinking, I probably, since we're now down to 2 lines for this, I'd probably prefer to introduce an intermediate variable. So if we, just at the beginning of line 4, we said this is now like, call it all underscore markers. Equals. And then if we just, where we've got the dot select, I would just go in before the dot and hit return. And then, prefix that with all markers there. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could, right. I guess that's the other way to do it, is just to wrap it over a second line and not have the all markers equals. That would that's more maybe Ruby-ish. Yeah, maybe that. Do you want to delete the all markers equals?
Yeah.
And then just we'll just indent the dot select, like that, and save that.
Okay.
And then
Tests.
Yeah, run the tests, and then we could even run Rubocop on that individual.
Yeah, it's all good.
So you could even run there if you could just run Rubocop. I mean, like if you hit up, if you go back to the terminal and hit up, and then Control A to jump to the beginning of the terminal. So hit up, and hit Control A, and then Control D 4 times.
Control A.
No. So if you hit, it should be if you hit up to get back to the test command. You hit up and down. There you're there. So now if you hold down the Control key and hit A, doesn't it let you to go? If you hold down Control and then hit A, doesn't it jump you to the beginning of the line? Is that the command key?
Yeah. Okay. That's it. Okay.
So if you, yeah, you go. And now if you hold down the Control key and press D 4 times, or well, delete the RSpec.
Yeah.
Okay, but and we're. Oh, sorry. I mean, I'm getting confused. I was thinking we would run Rubocop on. Probably, actually, what we should sensibly do now is run the full suite of tests rather than worrying about Rubocop too much.
Okay. So RSpec tests.
Yeah. So just, I mean, get rid of all that, and then do like bundle exec RSpec -fp, and we'll just quickly run
RSpec, and that's it, or something.
No, I do space -fp.
-fp.
And that will it'll not show everything. It'll just show the progress formats, and it'll run slightly faster as a result. Yeah. So just while that's running, should we go back to the code
Yes.
and look at the code? How do you think this looks now?
I think it looks much better. Yeah. I'm not sure about these arcs. That, I mean, if I saw it for the first time, it would be not so readable because I'm not sure what it's doing. But yeah, well, if you think about it, then and read about Gmaps for Rails method, I think it's
Yeah. I mean, actually, we could move it back to the org, whatever it is, which I guess makes it better. Yeah. I mean, I was sort of on this kind of like, oh, can we crunch it down to be like just a sort of a single? I mean, there's sort of effectively, there's just 2 operations there that we want to take place, or there's actually like 3, but they're really minor ones. And I was sort of in a kind of like, oh, can we crunch? It might be better to switch it back. I mean, it doesn't matter too much.
No, I think it's fine. It's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just at the first sight. Readability, but it's much lighter and it's much better than it was, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've improved it somewhat. I mean, I'm concerned about my outstanding concerns are on line 2 that we're basically passing in this flag, which I think is not ideal. But I don't think I think fixing that is going to be involved looking at more related code, and then there's a sort of it's the flag, and then I'm not sure whether this organizations with extra data. I mean, there's this like add recently updated and has owner. I'm feeling like I haven't necessarily got my head around exactly what it's doing under the hood there, but I'm thinking I don't want to go there right this second because I'm thinking that's part of a bigger refactoring. But I think this one should satisfy Hound.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to the tests? How are they doing?
Oh, good.
Yeah. Do you want to do the same thing for the cucumbers? So, and then you can do minus format. So unfortunately, Cucumber doesn't take the shorthand of minus FP. So we need to do minus format and then space progress.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was that was interesting to do, like a little one refactoring there. I mean, it's and I lost all my getting confused with my different windows here. So I need to restart my browser. So if the I was going to back and look at the other count. So that was, yeah, from @marker_Jason. So we've got another one for it's mentioned about the volunteer ops controller.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the volunteer ops controller. Yeah, so that on line 92, you've got n equals 1. So that should just be, that should have spaces. So n space equals space 1. And then also
that it's so long, obviously.
yeah. Well, I mean, sort of, we'll sidle up on that by maybe fixing some other small things, which is like on line 91, there's the space between the method name and the argument list. So what's that line? Yeah, so we've got, I'm just looking at the other line too long. I mean, there's some, if we go up to line 76 here, so that where the word partial is, that space at the beginning of the argument list shouldn't be there. No, not that space. That space is correct. The one at the, exactly there. And then the space, there should be a space at the end in between the oh, I guess sorry, not at the end, like where we've got the org::org.
Yeah.
It should be padded with spaces at the beginning and the end.
Okay.
Yeah, and then what have we got on line 7? On line 72, we've got like an extra space between organizations, comma, and type.
Okay.
Okay, and okay, then there's just the trivial ones. Let's just have a look. How have the cucumber tests finished?
Yeah. All good.
Okay, so that's all good. Yeah, so you could just do a commit there and push this up to the branch, and so
AM, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you can just do, and then say like cleans up for hound or whatever will be fine, I think, in this instance.
Should I mention the method, the one we?
Well, you can do. I mean, I think that the commit, will it usually? Well, I mean,
@marker_Jason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent. So if we come back, yeah, so we're just sort of skirting around. So basically, we've got two methods, which are kind of much too long, really. And we've got those flags, and I think that I mean, we've got, I guess there's two things here. Is one is that the methods themselves are kind of a bit too long. And the other one is that they really should be in a service object. If we scroll up to, where's the controller method at the top, the public one that they're being called from? Yeah, and then we've got the issue here that this feature active thing there is, yeah, that should be all be pulled out into a separate method. Yeah, okay. So lines 6 and 7 are reasonably innocuous, and then we've got this line 8 builds the Harrow markers, and then we've got yeah, yeah, the whole rest of the thing there. What I would say there is, this is an interesting refactoring. What I would be tempted to do is pretty much take lines 8 through 20 and kind of pull them down into a separate method underneath. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would like cut that entire thing, and let's make a method at the in the private section, which is called you know, this is like assemble volunteer markers or what have you. I don't know. Like, and let's drop that whole lot of code in there, and then let's take on line 85. Let's remove the @markers equal from the.
Sorry,
no, on line 8. No, on line 80. Oh, you've copied and pasted that already, haven't you?
I just want to delete it from here.
Okay. But so yeah, okay. Go on, okay. So I would on line 73 just cut the @markers equal. Just grab that @markers equal and cut it, and take, you know, just Control X or whatever. Grab that, and then go back up to the previous method. And you know, basically, we don't actually need that line 8. So replace. We've got that line 8 is happening already in the thing below. So you can delete line 8.
Delete line 8.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Should I move it down?
No, it's already down there.
Is it? Okay.
I think so. I might be wrong, but anyway. But and then line 8, it should call assemble. Yeah, exactly. And I think we have to pass in the organizations. So
yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so if we then go down here, so now we need assemble volunteer markers to take organization as an argument. You seem to have a tendency to put a space there at the.
Yeah, I don't know why. Sorry.
That's all right. And then now I noticed there we've also got like a thing there. We've got @doItOrgs is being assembled. Is that something that the view needs?
Which one?
On line 67, you've got @doItOrgs.
Yes, I think so. Yes, I think so. It needs to build the list on the right.
But so is it going to? Which of the which of the things it's going to end up? Is it going to end up using? You've got @markers in there. Go back up to the thing itself. So we're like ultimately there. Yeah, we're saying @markers is going to be that thing. Fair enough. Let's scroll down to the bottom.
Yes, but yeah, you see that @markers are here, and it depends whether @markers, they depend whether it's not the best way, but anyway, whether hero markers exist, so do it markers exist. So if both exist, then it builds this one.
Yeah.
If only do it markers exist but hero markers are empty, then it builds this one.
Yeah.
The one we passed up is if do it markers are empty.
Yeah, so this one, so I think what we need to have happen there is if you remove on line 70 and 71, remove the @ symbol from do it from the markers there. And then so this, I think on line 73, it needs to, what we need to do is we need to have a ternary statement here really. So it needs to, we want that do it markers equals, you know, the empty string there. So I would go on. So
I would say like something like markers if we do it, and then just return markers.
Well, I think we can make it simpler than that.
Yeah, just for now, not to forget what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but so I think, but what we want to do is, though, rather than assigning a variable here, we either want to return hero markers or markers, right?
Now we are always returning markers.
Yeah.
But how we build them differently depending on whether we have haro markers and do it markers, or we have only one
Yeah.
of markers.
Yes, I think I understand, but I think that in order to replicate the functionality, I don't think we need what you just added on line 74 and 73.
Okay.
So what I was saying about a ternary statement here is if you take the clause from the end of line 73, that's do it underscore markers equals that, and you bring with the if you want, yeah. So bring that, so cut that and move it to the beginning of the line. Right, and now put a question. And put a question mark there, right? And so now we can remove the and put a colon there for haro markers.
Yeah.
And then put the word markers.
Oh, okay.
And then remove the if statement from the beginning of the on line 73.
Okay.
And then it needs to go back, indent back one. The do it markers is indented too far into the right.
Sorry?
On line 73, there's 2 spaces at the beginning of line 73 that we don't want.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah. So now I might be wrong. Maybe I completely misinterpreted, but I think that this will do the same thing.
No, you're absolutely right. Yes, of course, yeah.
So, and I think that the only problem that we have now is that the do it orgs, which are kind of being assembled here, are not being passed back. And maybe there's a better way round for this. But so what I would be tempted to do here is kind of go back up to the top method.
Mm-hmm.
And so where it says markers, it says assemble volunteer markers. We kind of, we're on line 8 after at markers, if we put a comma, and this is a bit of a, I'm not very happy with it, and then do at do it underscore orgs. And then if we go back down to our method below, so what we can do is we can adjust the ternary statement so that we can put, like on line 73, after haro markers, we can put a comma. No, that's do it markers. After haro markers, we put a comma and space, and then put do it underscore orgs, but no at symbol. And then we have to do the same thing again after markers, and then remove the at symbols from there, and on line 68 and 69.
Okay, 69, yeah.
And then so we've got that on line 73 after markers, you've got a space before the comma.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So I'm still. I think there's still lots of things that potentially we want to change. But at least if we go back and look at our method in the controller now, that looks a lot more reasonable, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we've kind of, I mean, this is this funny thing with the refactor. It's a bit like whack-a-mole. You're kind of taking the mess from somewhere and hiding it somewhere else. But of course, the thing to check now is that this still works, because we might have introduced all. So I'd run the specs first.
I think they might be. They might be.
Whatever they are, just let's run them and see if they may not find any of the problems.
I think for dudes there were no specs, but yeah,
sure.
Another test.
But this is the kind of thing we want to find. What have we got there? Okay, so I think they might need to be in brackets.
Okay.
In order to allow us to have them, it's you know what I mean, like the pairs of things.
Yeah.
Exactly. I hope that will work. I might be wrong. But yeah, there may not be specs for this thing, and that's something we'll want to kind of get into. But still, of course, yeah, we're avoiding that. We want to make sure, even before we get into. There's another thing. What isn't it like?
No, it doesn't like it.
Oh, rats. Yeah. Okay. Let's just introduce an intermediate variable there. If we go back to the thing there. Yeah. If we just, I guess what we should do there is let's have on the beginning of line 73. Let's just do markers equals, and yeah, it could just actually we could go back to the way that it was. So we have markers equals, and then we do like harrow markers if. Yes, sorry, but this ends up.
So I'll just undo the changes maybe.
Well, yeah, or yeah, you could do, or just type harrow markers in there, and yeah, I think we want to go back to sort of the way it was before, and we'll just. Oh no, well, that's the thing is we don't.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I think we don't want. There's some changes we do want. So yeah, if you do markers equals and then copy that over harrow markers.
Markers equals harrow markers.
And then space if. Yeah, and then if you just hit return there, yeah. What we want then now is hit return now. You want a new new line. I don't know. Well, we could lose that, but yeah, we want markers do it orgs to be passed back, so we can just delete from the question mark up to the third parenthesis.
Sorry, I don't quite get the idea.
Basically, here on line 74, we just want to return markers, comma, do it orgs.
Okay.
We've got that in the second half of the thing. We don't need the return statement.
Yeah.
Comma, do it org. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I think that should do it.
Okay. No.
Yeah. What doesn't it like there? Was it saved?
Yes, I think so. One more time. Just one more time, save it and.
And you might want to maximize the size of the terminal there so we can. So what's going on there? It's saying what line of code is that on? It's line 133 of volunteer ops controller.
Okay.
Oh, and then 77, so 74. It's a 74. Let's go to 74.
74. Yes. Where does it expect an end?
Hold on. Let's. We want to return pair of. I think maybe actually we have to have square brackets around there on 74. Sorry, maybe you need to have square brackets. I think my brain is sort of slightly stuck in Python there for some reason. We maybe we've been able to do it with the ternary, but anyway, if you save that and run that, and maybe that will do it.
Yeah.
Did that work? Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yes. Sorry. I think we could have had it working with the ternary if we had the, but that's fine for the moment.
Okay.
But so yeah. So I think yeah, interesting. Yes. But anyway, so you see the if you think back a week or two, and I was talking about the process of doing this, I was saying that the first round of refactoring would be to kind of like sort of move things out of the controller methods and into private methods, and then there's another. So there's now two more stages of refactorings that I could see, which is one is reducing the length of the methods.
Yeah.
Another one which is sort of moving them into service objects, and the thing that I feel slightly like we could be starting to like do here to these methods what we did with the I forgot what it's called now.
Map marker.
Yeah, but I'm sort of slightly hesitant to do it here because I'm not sure if we've got the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And also, we're sort of like, as you say, with this stuff, we're refactoring and we don't have like unit tests.
Yeah.
associated with these things. Although there are some, like with the new one, we've just created the assemble volunteer markers, which is appropriate for private methods. But yeah, I think yes, yeah. So have the tests all passed now for that one, for the RSpec? They have. Let's run the cucumber tests as well. Yes. So I don't know if that. I mean, that was that helpful? How we just did that? Was I talking too much?
Yeah, it was extremely helpful. Extremely helpful, because that's, well, it really makes it lighter with kind of not so difficult moves, but you just need to know what these moves should be.
Yes, yes. Oh well,
But yeah,
that's
it's
good.
really, really helpful. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, yes. I mean, it's sort of. I worry if I'm saying too much and I should be letting you make more decisions, or yeah, I'm not. I mean, who knows? I think we've definitely got some good progress there. I'm tempted probably not to carry on, pairing exactly like this. I've got a client meeting in about 50 minutes, and I should sort of prepare for that. And I'm just, I think probably maybe what we should switch to now is, having done that, and hopefully those tests will pass. What I'm just thinking we should probably switch to is sort of talking about just the approach generally going forward, rather than dealing. We're kind of at a low level. Shall we step back up a bit of a higher level and talk about direction? And so I'm just going to. I've got the notes that we made when we talked about this before, and so we've got there, like on the list. One is refactoring the controller, which we've done a little bit of now.
Yeah.
So then you had the question of is what to test in specs, and I think that will come from pulling these things out into a service, and then the service will have, the service might have assemble volunteer markers as a public method, and then we might be testing that. Kind of thing. I mean, I'm not suggesting it's cut and dried, but that's kind of the direction that we want to go. The webmock thing, we now don't have webmock, so that's great. You mentioned detecting a different icon for do it versus Harrow, which we're not doing it. Or is that important?
It was about the class for test purposes, like doing envelope type. But it's not necessary now, so it's kind of
okay. Yeah, so and then so what direction we should take with the tests? I guess that's the cucumber tests. You are reasonable. That was, I think, the cucumber test. The cucumber tests now you're reasonably happy with, not completely happy, but you're like
okay. One failed. Ooh, unexpected one.
Okay, and that's this. Is this the? Now hold on. Let me see. This is basic steps 3, 2, 4, and then this is my org feature. So this is the thing that I'm trying to lock down. Is I think we're getting, this is you could even just try running this again. It's going to be really annoying if this is my org. It's feature 70.
Just one feature.
You certainly could. You may find it just. I think this is going to be one of these JavaScript timing issues. So annoying. So what have we got here? We've got features. This is my org feature. It's in individual charity pages. This is my org feature. Line 73. Then I should see password confirmation. Doesn't match password.
It's all good now.
Yeah. I mean, you want to try running the whole batch again in the background there? Well, that was the RSpec something.
I don't know what's this.
So I mean, I think we're going to see this failing maybe intermittently, and well, this one shouldn't be a.
I think I saw this one failing on my pull request.
Yeah.
it was okay on local, but it was failing on pull request at some point, and then it became okay. But
yeah, I think I see where the problem is. I think we've got in this test, and this is the cucumber test. It's clicking toggle link, and what it's doing is it's relying upon yeah, I'm fairly sure that we need, you know, we need one of these little waiting capybara things in there that will check that you know, the operation has actually taken place. And I'm yeah, I think I've got a note of this in one of the other. Oh, what's going on there? Ah. It's not as very. Oh, I've got one here. Yeah, so what, like, password doesn't much. Yeah, basic steps 322. Yeah. So can you just scroll up on there? It's. I think this is related to. This is my org feature. Could you just copy and paste the failing scenarios like that into Slack for me, or yeah, that would be great. Thanks.
yeah.
Great, thanks.
No, it's all good now.
Okay, yeah. Well, so I push that to the. Why don't you commit that and push that to the to the server, as I mean to GitHub, and I'm just gonna add your notes. So saw this failing locally for Yana.
Okay.
Okay. So.
So the only thing for me is what is the general direction for today. I will have a couple of hours probably today to do something.
Yes. Well, the thing I wanted to ask was, do we have those? So when we run it currently, the problems that we've got outstanding are, you know, about the, you know, orgs being in the same place and orgs having like multiple volunteer opportunities, but they're not being displayed. Right?
Yes.
That's the key thing, isn't it? Yeah, I mean the person from the Do It has said she said as far as she knows, it's not possible to get the data back in the way that we would like because of the.
Yeah.
But she's going to check with she's going to check with the engineers. But so it's really worth waiting to hear for that. But so at the moment, though, the organization links don't link to anything. Is that
okay? Right? This one, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that little thing that could be done, which is one to so basically work out the URL of the organization and put that in there, so that's linked up.
Okay.
And that way we wouldn't have any, you know, non-working links in the system.
Okay.
I mean, it feels like I would say that was worth doing. And I mean that's potentially, you know, a very, very simple thing to do. That I mean, I would say that you know, before we start trying to manipulate things in terms of like getting, you know, handling the volunteer opportunities in the same location, same organization, I think what we want to move towards is doing this services refactoring.
Okay.
That may be something that you don't want to start today, but what you might start thinking about is trying to understand the services model.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's some other part. The place in the code that I would direct you to look at is actually, is it in? I've kind of started doing. I should write this up as a blog post. If you look in the proposed organization edits controller, and it's an unfortunate name because we've actually got a model that is an edit, which is kind of. But if you look at there on line 13, can you see that it says here? Create proposed organization edit with like this. So this is the kind of style that we're going to be wanting to go towards. So if we look at in the if we go back to the volunteer ops controller, so and we scroll up in here, what are we in the indexed? So what we're going to want to have ultimately here, like say they're on line 8. I mean, create a little space there, just like on, you know, after line 8, like hit return. So we've got and so under index, what we would want to have something is like a list volunteer. So well, this is like this is in camel case rather than snake case.
Okay.
But so the so and it should so it should start with the first letter should be capital as well. So I'll send you a link to Ben wrote an article about this. Let's do Ben Silverbox. This is services. I'll send you this link. So list volunteer ops, and then with WITH. Yeah, and then you'd be passing in some parameters. So it might be, you know, like actually almost this doesn't take any parameters. So it could just be run. It could just be like list volunteer ops run because there are actually no parameters. But have a look at why does my mouse disappear?
I think I remember the link to the Ben's article. I think I have it somewhere. So
yeah, I'm just gonna I've got it into.
Okay. Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think and you can kind of like we've got service objects constructed in various sorts of different ways, you know, in the system. So don't necessarily feel that just because a service object is done in a certain way in the system that you'll want to be doing that. But there's another. I've got another blog for you here, which is on service objects in general. But so I think, you know, what you could be doing is kind of, well, what we'd have here ultimately here. I mean, it's an interesting question about. Yeah, we kind of be replacing the call to assemble volunteer marker. So we might end up having it list volunteer ops dot with organizations would be the way that it would end up going. And so then we would have a list volunteer ops service, which is where in the first instance, all of those, you know, methods that we've got could be moved, and we would move them out of the controller, and then we could start testing them and playing with them in this. And that is basically the idea.
Okay, and in terms of services, I just want to see a good example. Do you have a good example of service in our code here, so that maybe I could look through it?
Well, so if you have a look in the services there, if you go to see, it's got create proposed organization edits. So that is the one that I just created recently, and so this is the service here, and you can see that it's using various kinds of dependency injection and so on. And I wouldn't say this is perfect by any means, but we've got to this kind of. This is sort of the style that we're going with of having a public class method called with, to say you call it with these things, and then you create a instance methods, and you know, and you can see that there everything else is private. So we're kind of saying basically there's only one way to interact with this class. And, and you can see how it's, you know, we've split different things out into different methods, and we're trying to keep the methods short, and they have names. So when you look at the run method, we can see it saying, unless the editor is a site admin, do merge in the number. You know, I mean, yeah, you get the sort of idea, perhaps.
Yeah, okay. I'll try to understand it better, and yeah, I will definitely do the link to organization, not to have not working links.
Yeah, I
And
think
then
that's a
start.
little simple thing. Get that out of the way first, and then yeah, and feel free. You, you can always, on a separate branch,
Mhm.
if you want to experiment with doing a service audit thing, and put it up there, and we'll give you feedback on it, and that's all. Don't worry, it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah,
But for now, I'll just make this link, and on this branch and on this pull request, we'll
yeah,
just go slow with whatever
yeah,
we discuss. Yeah.
yeah. I think that's the way to go. Yeah, good
Okay.
stuff.
Cool.
Nice one, excellent. Thanks, Diana. All
Thank you
right,
very much.
I'll catch up with you later. All right,
Thank you. Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.